little over 100 years ago, the only forms of journalism were cheap newspapers and local gossip. Currently, there are countless 24-hour TV news channels, news radio stations, thousands of different newspapers, and of course the internet. Journalism is definitely not what it used to be. Is this a bad thing? No, if you analyze contemporary news production, consumption, and youth engagement, you'll actually see that journalism has changed for the better. To assess the health of news production, Dr. Stephen Harrington labels two criteria. The first is if there is connection with audiences. Wind Shuttle says the measure of journalist success is their relationship with their audience. These days, journalists openly invite comments from the public on everything, such as their online news stories and Twitter pages, so the existence of this relationship, this connection, is obvious. The second measure Harrington signifies is news production's critical interrogation of other estates. That is, if news is producing stories that take on the big guns. Julian Assange's WikiLeaks is a prime example of this. Roy Greenslade said in his 2010 article for CNN that the posting of documents on WikiLeaks represents a triumph for what I call data journalism. WikiLeaks' extremely thorough interrogation has even led to a moral panic over the free availability of important information. News production is healthier than ever. Now obviously, production would be pointless unless people were consuming, so it's important to evaluate the consumption of news to assess journalism. For this, Harrington once again labels two criteria: the volume of output and diversity of outlets. Regarding the volume, there is more news available to consume than ever before, resulting in more competition, which can only be beneficial for consumers because journalists will go over and above to produce the best stories. However, with so much news, a diversity of news sources is essential. This diversity is evident through today's unconventional TV news sources, for example, the 7 PM Project. Such news sources strive to be more entertaining and subsequently of popular taste. Fisk reiterates the importance of this by saying to encourage a wide diversity of people to want to watch it and to remember and think about its events, TV news must be of popular taste. A news release of the 2009 Journalism in Crisis Conference at the University of Westminster said young people seem to be less interested in traditional forms of news consumption. This might be the case, but there is proof that young people are consuming their news through other forms, particularly new age sources such as Facebook and Twitter. Despite Mindich's claim that young people are less interested in politics, the Middle East revolutions proved that new age journalism such as Facebook and Twitter can make young people politically engaged. The internet is also allowing young people to produce the news themselves. The Tattoo is an award-winning online newspaper written exclusively by teenagers. It presents a teenage perspective on every major issue affecting the world today, and it's a great example of youth engagement. It may be true that there is less profitability in journalism, but this doesn't mean the industry is in crisis. News is being produced and consumed at flourishing rates, and society's young people continue to be engaged. Journalism is no longer about making money. The most important thing is the richness of the news story itself.